predictions, Premier League predictions going into the game this weekend. Me and Sim have a scoring system. It's 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for a correct result. Star man, once you pick that man, you can't pick them again for the rest of the season. 5 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist. Scores on the ball, on the doors are 349 to Sim, 372 to me, with 3 game weeks left to play. And first up is Fulham against Everton. Sim's gone for 1-1. I have gone for 1-0 to Fulham.
Yeah, I actually had 0-0 and I changed it last minute to 1-1. But I think
last 2 games against this opposition, these opponents have both finished 0-0.
Yeah, maybe I should have gone 0-0, but I just felt like both teams would get a goal. I think obviously this might have the feel of a late season kind of end of season game because with nothing to play on. I know Fulham is kind of still chasing Europe. Everton being the draw specialist as well.
They're well in the mix.
Yeah, they are well in the mix, but I don't think they're going to get it. I think they're going to play against an Everton side who are well drilled, tough to break down, and they're going to struggle to do it. So, and I think Everton will get a goal from somewhere better or something, scramble a goal home. I've gone for 1-0.
Yeah, Everton with 1 win since they last beat Crystal Palace in mid-February. So not on the greatest form, but they have had a lot of draws in there as well. Fulham, I feel like at Craven Cottage can get the job done. I agree with you. It's not going to be a game for the neutral, but I think Fulham will just have enough just to get over the line at Craven Cottage. They lost to Chelsea last time out. Before that, they beat Liverpool. This is at Craven Cottage, 3-2. So I think they'll have more than enough to just about get over the line against its Everton side. So I've gone for 1-0. Next up is Ipswich against Brentford. Tim's gone for 3-1 to Brentford. I've gone for 3-2 to Brentford. You're seeing with Ipswich, they're starting to score a few goals of late, and Brentford, all season they've been involved in these kind of games, toing and froing, and I feel this one will be no different. I feel like Ipswich will give as good as they get, but I think Brentford are just going to have the more quality on the day with the likes of Wimbuemo, with the likes of Wissa, with the likes of Sade, who's obviously having a great season as well. So I've gone for 3-2.
Yeah, I went for 3-2 initially, and again I changed it last minute to 3-1. So hopefully,
like double guessing. So.
Yeah, hopefully it pays off in my favour. But yeah, I think Brentford in great form. 3 wins on the trot, unbeaten in 5, making a late surge for Europe with a 1 point behind Bournemouth, relying on obviously City winning that FA Cup, but they're playing very well at the moment, Brentford. So I think as much as Ipswich are having a bit of a kind of one of those periods where the pressure's off and they seem to be playing with a bit more freedom, I do think Brentford, good defensive side, on their away from home on their day, can kind of limit the opposition. So they like to play on the counter. I think they'll do the same.
All right, moving on to Southampton against Man City. Sim's gone for 5-1. I've gone for 4-0. All in the favour of Man City, and I don't think this needs too much explanation why, but Man City playing well at the moment. They seem to be winning every game. They really are hot on the heels of even Arsenal at this moment in time in second, and Southampton on their way to being probably one of, if not the worst, Premier League side of all time. So
yeah, and I think obviously Man City need another victory to get over the line and get into that top 5. They're within touching distance, and I think it should be comfortable in this one. So I think 5-1 to Man City. I think it's going to be easy. Does it? I just went for Southampton to get a goal, but City to get an extra one as well. So, and Haaland might be back as well, wouldn't he?
He was on the bench last game. It remains to be seen if he's going to start, but I do think he'll come on if he doesn't start.
Yeah.
Next up is Wolves against Brighton. We've both gone for the same scoreline here in 2-1 to Wolves.
Yeah, and I think the way Wolves kind of set up their back three and the way they counter-attack, I think it's going to be kind of perfect to play against this Brighton team who have been in very mixed form. They obviously last week they got a decent draw against Newcastle, pretty good result, but they've been in very patchy form of late, haven't they, Brighton? They were playing really well and then lately not so well, and they haven't quite got the balance right, I felt, between being too open and not, and I think Wolves could exploit that. So yeah. And Wolves are in great form, so 2-1 Wolves.
Exactly, before the defeat against Man City last time out, there were 6 wins on the bounce, Wolves. So, I mean, credit to them for their end-of-season form. And, they very easily could have got more out of that Man City game as well. So, Wolves are playing very well at the moment. So, at home at Molineux, I think it'll be a really interesting and exciting game, to be honest. I think there'll be chances at both ends, but I think Wolves will just about get the better of this Brighton side. So, I've gone for 2-1. Bournemouth against Aston Villa next. Sim's gone for 2-2. I've gone for 1-1. I feel like Villa away from home are just not the same animal as they are at home. Bournemouth, starting to get some decent results again now, obviously beating Arsenal at the Emirates last time out. But I feel like Villa obviously have a lot to play for. Bournemouth, chasing Europe still themselves. So I feel like both these teams might cancel each other out a little bit.
Yeah, I think it should be a good game of football. I know Villa kind of need the win because if they're going to get into that top 5, they need to be getting all 3 points with them kind of lagging behind Chelsea at the moment, 3 points behind. That could leave them to be going a bit too open. And Bournemouth, as much as they've not been on the best form, they've obviously got a great win against Arsenal at the Emirates, and they are kind of unbeaten in 5 games now, so maybe their form isn't that bad, albeit 3 draws in those games, and not great draws, some of them as well. So I think at home, it's going to be quite an open game. We know Bournemouth like to play with a lot of chaos. We know Villa can play with that high line as well. So I think it could be quite open with a lot of chances at both ends, but I've gone for 2-2.
Newcastle, Chelsea up next in a big game in the terms of the top 4 race. I've gone for 2-1 to Newcastle. Sim has gone for 3-1 to Newcastle.
Yeah, I think Newcastle at St James's Park, they're in unbelievable form. They've been kind of taken on all comers. And I think Chelsea are going to be the next to come and struggle. And I think Chelsea are in good form at the moment. I know they just beat Liverpool at Anfield, but going to St James's Park, I think it's going to be a different kettle of fish for them. And I can see Newcastle, who obviously, again, need probably another, they're right in the mix of that battle for top 4, top 5. I think Chelsea are going to struggle to overcome their intensity and the way they kind of counter-attack against teams of Isaac and Gordon and Barnes. So I've gone for 3-1 to Newcastle.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup, this one. Chelsea actually in better form than Newcastle right now. I mean, Newcastle 1 win in their last 3. Chelsea have won 3 on the bounce. And I've been quite surprised by this late season surge by Chelsea. I thought they were down and out and they weren't going to get the top 4, but they're looking like a really good bet for top 4 now, Chelsea. Newcastle, obviously, with the draw against Brighton and 2 weeks ago, they got absolutely hammered by Aston Villa at Villa Park. I feel like Newcastle just about get over the line and kind of end this this Chelsea surge at this moment of time and put themselves in the real driving seat for top 4. But I do see it being a really tight encounter. And I think both teams, doing some good work in the game. But I feel like at St James's Park, I can't see anything but a Newcastle win, to be honest. So I've gone for 2-1 to Newcastle. Next up is Manchester United against West Ham. Sim's gone for 0-0. I've gone for 1-1. I just can't see either of these teams winning. Obviously, Man U will be on the back of, which probably be a Europa League semi-final win against Bilbao. They're 3-0 up, but I still think it's going to be a taxing game for them to hold on to that lead. I think Bilbao, you'll see a different kind of Bilbao in that second leg, and it will take a lot out of this Manchester United team. And we know that Man U are resting quite a few players in the Premier League. However, I don't think that'll be enough for West Ham to win the game. West Ham are just playing really shocking at the moment. Can't seem to buy a win from anywhere, even against a much changed Spurs side who are losing week in, week out at the moment. They couldn't get anything from. So I've gone for 1-1.
Yeah, I've gone for 0-0. I think United are going to play a bit of maybe a weakened team, and I think they're going to kind of struggle to kind of create too many good quality opportunities. I think it's going to be a drab game. I think it's going to be a game when, similar to the Spurs one last week, where neither side turn up. I think West Ham are going to kind of play their back 5 system as well, match Man United up, and then they're going to cancel each other out here, and I think it's going to be a drab 0-0.
Yeah. Forest against Leicester. Leicester obviously already down. Nottingham Forest doing their best to not get top 4 at this moment in time. We've both gone for 2-0. Massive game for Nottingham Forest. They know they have to win this game if they've got any hope of finishing in that top 5. And I think that's exactly what they're going to do. I think it'll be a comfortable win, 2-0.
Yeah, me too. I think they'll get a goal in that first half. They'll allow Leicester possession without Leicester being able to do anything, and they'll probably get a late killer blow late in the game. So I've gone for a 2-0 win for Forest and a much needed 3 points.
Tottenham against Crystal Palace up next. I've gone for 2-1 to Palace. Sim has gone for 1-1.
Yeah, I think Palace have drawn their last 3. Tottenham, obviously off the back of a Europa League game, we'll have to see kind of who the fall guys are injury wise and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it will be a changed team, but Palace also focusing on other things with the FA Cup final coming up. I can see maybe a kind of tetchy 1-1 draw here.
Yeah, I just feel like Palace will probably still play their first team, and I feel like they've got enough quality there to hit us on the break with the likes of Ismaila Sarr playing really well at the moment. Eberechi Eze in his best moment of the season as well. Mateta up front. Kamada, who I think is playing really well of late as well. So I feel like Palace will have more than enough to come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium again in a game which really don't mean much for either club, to be honest. But I just feel like Palace are playing that much better than Spurs in the league at this moment in time. So I've gone for Palace to win the game by 2-1. Next up is Liverpool against Arsenal. Sim's gone for 1-0 to Liverpool. I have gone for 2-2 here. I feel like Liverpool, obviously they've won the league, won't mean much. Arsenal, again, their kind of league form is completely derailed at the moment, but I think Liverpool are on the beach. I think you saw that in the game against Chelsea on the weekend, and I just feel like it's just going to be a game of not much quality, but I can see quite a few goals here.
Yeah, I think I've gone for 1-0. I think Arsenal, obviously, it'll be interesting how they get on against PSG tonight. Could tell how much confidence they go into this game. But I think they're going to play a strong team. But I think they're still missing their striker. They're still going to have the same problems. And I think Liverpool haven't been at their best of late. That's fair to say, albeit they've got that league title over the line. But I see maybe not the most entertaining game. I think Arsenal will want to kind of spoil the party a bit. But I just don't see them being at full throttle. And I also think Liverpool probably dominate possession, but I don't think they're going to be at the best as well. So I think you'll probably see a disappointing game, but I think Liverpool just shade it 1-0, maybe a penalty or something.
Do you think Arsenal give them the guard of honour?
They have to. I think it's just one. It's just isn't it just the first game after the title?
No, it's
Is it every time? They should then, yeah. Why not? They should. They will.
It's up to the team's discretion whether they want to do it or not.
I think they will. I don't know.
I got a feeling they're not going to do it.
Well, you know what? They are a bunch of classless
that's what I'm
people,
saying.
So maybe they won't.
Anyway, let's move on to star men, and it's a Manchester City head-to-head. Kevin De Bruyne against Omar Mamouche. I mean, De Bruyne definitely starts, but there is a bit of a question mark over Omar Mamouche with Erling Haaland coming back in.
Well, De Bruyne has just been in great form, and he's been playing so well recently, so I haven't picked him yet, and here's a good chance to play my last ever De Bruyne card.
Last ever De Bruyne card. And your last ever De Bruyne card, my first ever Mamouche card. And Mamouche, hasn't had his scoring boots on recently. 4 games without a goal in recent weeks. And look, I think if he does start, he'll be licking his lips against his Southampton side. So I do envisage if both these players start, I think they both get a bit of a points haul. But you know the way it usually works, whenever we say that,
it's gonna be 0-0, yeah.
Either both of them don't start or both of them don't get anything.
Yeah, usually.
It's going to be like O'Reilly and McAtee banging in the goals or something.
Let's hope De Bruyne. Let's hope if he scores a goal, they don't just not give it to him for no reason.
Yeah. But that is it. That is our Premier League predict the Prem for this week. We'll see you all tomorrow for a massive, massive day for Tottenham Hotspur. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment.